Welcome back to AP Precalculus in under 3 minutes. No time for intros, let's get into it. Everyone, I honestly forgot this topic existed. The reason I say this is because I thought I needed to teach this earlier, so I taught it in my 3.3 video. I do still have some more things to say on inverse functions, but for now, let's get a reminder on what I said back in my 3.3 video. If you are given an inverse sine, cosine, or tangent equation, it's not that difficult. So for example, in this one where it's inverse sine of root 3 over 2, all it's asking is what angle will have root 3 over 2 as an answer for the sine of it. So looking at our unit circle, we see it in two places. Thing is, dealing with inverse functions, certain inverse functions only exist in certain quadrants of the graph because of domain restrictions. Since inverse sine can only exist in quadrants 1 and 4, even if there is an answer of root 3 over 2 at 120 degrees, it can't be an answer because inverse sine can't exist there, meaning our only answer would be 60 degrees or pi over 3. Another way to notate inverse function is using arc notation. Just know it means the same exact thing. So what the heck do I mean when I say certain inverse functions only exist in certain quadrants of the graph? Essentially, because the corresponding trigonometric functions are periodic, they are only invertible if they have restricted domains. The restricted domain of sine is negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, or the way I like looking at it, quadrant 1 and 4. The restricted domain of cosine is 0 to pi, or the way I like looking at it, quadrant 1 and 2. And the restricted domain of tangent is negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, or once again, quadrants 1 and 4. Now, I don't want to confuse you. If you see an inverse function, you can assume it will always be solved within their restricted domains. But if you see a trigonometric equation like this, you no longer need to worry about restricted domain. You can solve it and put both of the solutions, pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. But since these functions are periodic, you need to model all of the periodic solutions to the trigonometric equation as well. So that means when you solve trigonometric equations that don't have any domain, you must slap a plus 2 pi k on the end of each solution to showcase all possible coterminal angles. You'll notice that I actually already did this in my topic 3.3 video. So your takeaway is to always use restricted domain if you are solving inverse functions, but find every possible solution with trig equations like this. Okay? Okay. On the screen now are some AP style questions for this topic. Pause now. I'll put the answers on the screen now. I will see you in the next one.